Well, I praise the good Lord, that he shall renew thy youth like an eagle. I praise him.
Tiny Tim's life was both remarkably peculiar and tragically sad. But how did a man known for his falsetto voice and iconic song Tiptoe Through the Tulips meet his end? Let's dive into this video to know the unusual and sorrowful tale of Tiny Tim's death. Tiny Tim, whose real name was Herbert Boutros Corey, was an American singer known for his high-pitched singing and playing the ukulele. His famous song, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, was a hit in 1968. Returning to his early days, he was born in Manhattan, New York City, on April 12, 1932. His mom, Tilly, was a Jewish garment worker from Belarus, and his dad, Boutros, was a textile worker from Lebanon with a family connection to the Catholic Church. He grew up in the Washington Heights neighborhood in Manhattan and attended George Washington High School. And assuredly, he was a dedicated Catholic throughout his life. Tiny Tim's love for music began when he was very young. At the young age of 5, his dad gifted him an old-fashioned wind-up gramophone and a record. He used to spend hours listening to it. And when he turned 6, he started teaching himself to play the guitar. As he grew older, he developed a strong passion for old records, especially those from the 1900s to the 1930s. He was so enthusiastic about music that he often frequented the New York Public Library. There, he used to read about the history of the phonograph industry and its first recording artists. He even copied sheet music and took it home to learn. This was a hobby he enjoyed his entire life. Further, his journey to becoming a unique singer with a high-pitched voice went on. And the real thing began when he was recovering from an appendectomy. While listening to the radio, he realized he had an extraordinary talent for singing at a very high pitch. He attributed this discovery to listening to Rudy Vallee singing in falsetto. It was like a revelation, something he had never known he could do. In 1952, he landed a job as a runner boy at the New York office of MGM Studios. This marked the start of his love affair with the entertainment and music world. He decided to try performing himself, entering a local open mic competition and singing the classic song You Are My Sunshine in his unique falsetto style. From there, he gained confidence and dived deeper into show business by performing in nightclubs, especially during their rookie nights open to new talent. He used various stage names, creating a colorful collection of aliases like Judas K. Foxglove, Emmett Swink, and Texarkana Tex, among others. Tiny Tim adopted a distinctive style to stand out from the other performers. He wore outrageously loud outfits, grew out his hair, and even used makeup to make his skin look paler than it was. His mother, believing that he might have lost his mind, planned to commit him to Bellevue Hospital for psychiatric care. However, his father intervened and prevented this from happening. Things went on, and in 1959, he decided to switch things up again and started performing under the stage name Larry Love. He became known as the Singing Canary and took on the role of a sideshow act at Hubert's Museum and Live Flea Circus in the heart of New York's Times Square. He then caught the attention of a talent scout who sent him to audition at various Greenwich Village venues, securing him several unpaid gigs that helped him gain recognition. During this time, he began playing Tiptoe Through the Tulips, which would become his signature song, played on his beloved ukulele. His first paid job came at Page 3, a Greenwich Village nightclub known for its diverse clientele. Here, he performed almost every night of the week, often for 5 to 6 hours at a stretch, earning a meager $1.96 monthly. Over the next few years, he would continue to perform under different names, first as Derry Dover and then as Sir Timothy Timms. The name Tiny Tim stuck with him while working with a group of little people. Standing at a towering 6 feet 1 inch tall, he starkly contrasted his diminutive colleagues. Interestingly, you might also recognize the name Tiny Tim from the character in Charles Dickens's classic A Christmas Carol. Tiny Tim's journey took an unexpected turn when he ventured into the world of film. In 1963, he landed a significant role in the experimental movie Normal Love, directed by Jack Smith. In this film, Tiny Tim portrayed a glamorously dressed musical monster, showcasing his unique style to the world. With this intriguing role, he briefly appeared in the indie film You Are What You Eat in 1968. In this film, he performed various songs in his distinctive falsetto style, including Sonny Bono's I Got You Babe and Be My Baby by the Ronettes. These film appearances catapulted Tiny Tim into the spotlight, leading to an invitation to the popular comedy variety show Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. During his appearance on the show, he played a medley that included A Tisket a Tasket and On the Good Ship Lollipop on his trusty Martin ukulele. However, he saved his iconic Tiptoe Through the Tulips performance for the grand finale, which left the audience and the hosts in amazement. In 1968, Tiny Tim achieved a significant milestone when he released his debut record, God Bless Tiny Tim, under Reprise Records. The album featured an orchestrated rendition of his signature song, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, along with other equally whimsical tracks like Livin' in the Sunlight, Lovin' in the Moonlight, and a unique rendition of I Got You Babe. His follow-up record, Tiny Tim's second album, experienced less success than his debut one. Nevertheless, his fourth release, For All My Little Friends, hit the shelves in 1969. This album was a compilation of children's songs and earned Tiny Tim a Grammy nomination. As the 1960s came to a close, Tiny Tim's fame began to lose, but he continued to perform across the United States, including successful shows in Las Vegas. After parting ways with Reprise Records, he founded his own humorously named label, Victim Records, in collaboration with his wife at the time, Victoria Budinger. Unfortunately, their marriage didn't last long, and they separated in 1974. Tiny Tim's personal life was as eventful as his career. He married his second wife, Jan Alweis, in 1984, and later tied the knot with his third wife, Susan Marie Gardner, in 1995. Later, he again experienced a resurgence in popularity during the late 1980s and 1990s. In 1986, he collaborated with the indie rock band Camper Van Beethoven and starred as the devious Mervo the Clown in the 1987 film Blood Harvest. In 1993, he released the albums Rock and I Love Me, followed by his final album, Girl, in 1996. Then, a sad and peculiar end arrived, where Tiny Tim's life ended up tragic due to his long-standing battle with heart issues. On September 28, 1996, he suffered a heart attack while performing at the Ukulele Festival in Montague, Massachusetts. Immediate medical attention was provided, and he was hospitalized for several weeks to recover. Doctors strongly advised him against returning to the stage, considering his fragile health and pre-existing conditions, including cardiovascular problems and diabetes. Despite the medical warnings, Tiny Tim couldn't resist the allure of performing for his fans. On November 30th, 1996, he took the stage one last time at a gala benefit show organized by the Women's Club of Minneapolis. Although he had reportedly expressed not feeling well to his wife Susan before the performance, he chose to proceed, not wanting to disappoint his devoted audience. During his final song, Tiptoe Through the Tulips, tragedy struck again as he suffered another severe heart attack while on stage. After leaving the stage, his spouse inquired about his well-being, to which he admitted feeling unwell just before collapsing at their table. Regrettably, he never regained consciousness. Emergency medical technicians, EMTs, made valiant efforts to revive him through CPR, and he was promptly transported to a nearby hospital. Despite repeated resuscitation attempts, none were successful, and Tiny Tim was pronounced dead shortly after his arrival. Tiny Tim found his final resting place at Lakewood Cemetery in Minneapolis, marking the conclusion of his extraordinary journey. Although Tiny Tim has left this world, his unique legacy lives on. In Sydney, Australia, a significant tulip-themed mural dedicated to him graces a Macquarie University student building. Additionally, his name adorns a star on the exterior of the First Avenue Theatre in Minneapolis, an honor reserved for the most distinguished artists who have graced its stage. So, what do you think of Tiny Tim? Share with us in the comments below and subscribe for more.